Good morning, everyone. We are from Group 5, going to present our discussion about teaching reading and writing. And first, content. So for reading is first, what is reading? And second, background to the teaching of reading. 3, principle for teaching reading. 4, classroom technique and tasks. 5, reading in the classroom. 6, conclusion. And for writing, first, what is writing? Second, background of the teaching of writing. 3, principle of teaching writing. 4, classroom technique and tasks. 5, reading in classroom. And 6, conclusion. So teaching and writing. What is reading? Reading is process of understanding and interpreting written or printed text. It involves the ability to decode written symbol, letter, word, or sentence, and comprehend their meaning. Reading typically involves visually perceiving the word, recognizing and connecting the sound associated with the written symbols or phonics, and understanding the meaning conveyed by the text. Is a complex cognitive skill that combines decoding, vocabulary knowledge, fluency, and comprehension. And background of the teaching of reading. The teaching of reading has evolved over time, influenced by societal, cultural, and educational factors. In ancient time, reading was limited to the elite, but the printing press made books more accessible. School introduced reading instruction using methods like phonics and whole word approach. The development of balanced literacy approach integrate decoding, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. In recent years, inclusivity and personalized instruction have gained importance. Advancement in technology have also impacted reading instruction. The story of teaching reading showcases a shift from basic memorization to research-based approach. The focus now includes decoding skill, vocabulary development, fluency, comprehension, and meeting and diverse learner needs. Next.
And then principles for teaching reading. There are 8 principles. Number 1 is exploit the reader's background knowledge. So background knowledge is similar with prior knowledge that includes all of the experience that reader brings to the text, such as life experience, educational experience, knowledge of how text can be organized theoretically, and knowledge of how the one's language as the language conversation and the second language, and how the language work, and the culture backgrounds of the students. And then number 2, build a strong vocabulary base. So the teacher can start the question about what the vocabulary do my learners need to know, and how will they learn with this topic, and how can a teacher see what they need to know and what they now know. And number 3 is teach for comprehension. Nowadays, actually, sometimes teacher just more emphasizes testing reading comprehension than learn how the students comprehend the materials. So in these principles, teacher can be more emphasized in the process, not the result of their comprehension. And then number 4, work on increasing reading rate. Reading rate in this principle, not fast reading, but fluent reading. So the students not just read the fast but also they can also understand the meaning and the content of their reading passage. In this in these principles, written that define fluent readers as one who reads a rate of 200 words per minute with at least 70% of the comprehension. So the core is not the fast reading, but also the comprehension. And number 5 is teach reading strategies. Reading strategies not just in one time, but all around their process. So they learn the strategies one by one. And number 6, encourage readers to transform strategies into skills. So strategies is ability to have the ability to learn consciously, and skills is ability to learn but unconsciously. So the readers at the beginning learn about one strategies, and then they learn more and more, and then strategies transform become the skills. So they apply the skills uh, unconsciously, so they can use the strategies but already transform into skills that they already can use over time. And 7, build assessment and evaluation into your teaching. So it is same like other other concept, uh, which is concept. Each concept has evaluation in their process. And then number 8, strive for continuous improvement as a reading teacher. The quality of the individual teacher is integral to success of the second foreign language readers. Reading teachers need to be passionate about their work. They should view themselves as a facilitators for the students and helping the reader discover what work best. Next. Next. Before this slide. Yeah. Classroom techniques and tasks. In the books written that the author have the active skills to active techniques to learn to teaching reading. So its word have they stand for the reason. And for the first, A stand for active prior knowledge. So as I said earlier, students can bring their prior knowledge to at least they can guess what the topic they learn want to learn, and they can bring their prior knowledge to guess whether there is correct or not correct. And then C stand for cultivate vocabulary. So it is kind of similar as I said before in the build a strong vocabulary base. So cultivate vocabulary is in this step is me. That means that teacher can give them the topic, for example, music. they can create a mind map and can discuss in the group of students, and they can create a kind of mind map. And in this, for example, music, they can divide music into several subtopic, that is types of music that contains of like jazz music, country, and Britpop, and rock and roll, and so on. And then elements of music uh, can be rhythm, harmony, tone, or melody, and instrument, and so on. And then T stand for teach for comprehension. So it's also same with previously. Uh, so the teachers not just test their comprehension, but also guide them to comprehend the reading passage. And I stand for increased reading rate, also same. They can increase their reading rate step by step, uh, not just fast reading, but also they can comprehend the content of the text. And V stand for verify reading strategies. So the teacher can give them question to the learners about what are you trying to accomplish, uh, what strategy are you use in this session, and why did you select these strategies, and how the strategies running well. And then 5, what other strategy could you use to accomplish your purpose. And then E stand for evaluate progress. It's kind of similar with before. They can evaluate their uh, learning process. Next.
After learning classroom techniques, and also about active skills in reading, now let's consider how these concepts affects in the classroom. I believe all people learn and get new information from their surrounding. The information people get is set in their brain. Well, this kind of task requires readers to recall their memory, which is in line with the activate prior knowledge concept in reading. Here, teacher doing scanning as a part of reading skill. In reading, in in that scanning activity, readers do not look at every word here, but they only look to find keyword which the main of the information. Next slide. Next slide. Well, to check whether the reader's prior knowledge great or not, the next activity like this can be the answer or new information for student. Next slide. Well, after talking about teaching reading, we can conclude that reading is an essential skill for learner of English as a second language, which strengthen reading skills. Learners will make greater progress and development in all other areas of learning. In teaching reading, teacher must consider the principle for teaching reading, types of reading, and the techniques and tasks that appropriate for the readers. Teacher just have to enjoy the teaching in the classroom, because teachers have opportunities every day to interact with the learners in the classroom to guide and improve their reading skills.
So after that, we moved in writing. What comes to your mind if I say writing? Creativity, typing, or maybe paper? Do you like writing? Or is writing your hobby? So before you answer my question, you should know about what is writing. Writing is the process of creating written or typed symbols that convey a message or idea to the audience. It involves spoken or written to express thoughts, feelings, or ideas in a way that can be understood by others. Writing can take many forms, including essays, articles, stories, letters, reports, emails, text, and more. Next slide. So we move to the history of teaching writing. Before technology comes, people used paper to write message, but now we writing on the cell phone. Even we use cell phone to write caption or maybe text to your friend. So that's why writing is important, even from earlier times. Over time, various approaches to teaching writing have emerged, reflecting different educational philosophies and pedagogical theories. This approach includes the grammar translation approach, process writing approach, genre-based approach, writing across the curriculum, and the process genre approach. Each approach has contributed to our understanding of how to effectively teach writing and has influenced instructional practices in classroom. First, grammar translation approach. In the earlier stage of writing instruction, emphasis was placed on learning grammar rules and translating sentences between languages. This approach focused on accuracy and precision, but often lacked opportunities for authentic communication. Number two is process writing approach. In the 97th, the process writing approach gained popularity. It emphasizes the stage of writing, including rewriting, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. Number three is genre-based approach. This approach emphasizes teaching writing through the study of different genres or types of writing, such as narrative, persuasive essays, and informational text. And number four is writing across the curriculum. Writing instruction is not limited to English or language arts classes, but is integrated into various subject areas. Writing becomes a tool for learning and demonstrating understanding in disciplines such as science, history, and mathematics. And last, process genre approach. This approach combines elements of both process writing and genre-based approach. It recognized the importance of teaching writing as a process while also addressing the specific requirements and expectations of different writing genres. Next.
The next is principles for teaching writing. The first one is understand your student's reason for writing. The greatest dissatisfaction with writing instruction comes when the teacher goals don't match the students. or when the teacher goals don't match those of the school or institution in which the students work. It is important to understand both and to convey goals to students in ways that make sense to them. And the second one is provide many opportunities for students to write. Writing almost always improves with practice. And evaluate your lesson plans, such as how much time is spent reading or talking about writing, and how much is spent actually writing. Since writing isn't part of physical activity, it is like other physical activities to requires practice and lots of it. And the third one is make feedback helpful and meaningful. Students crave feedback on their writing, yet it doesn't always have the intended effect. If you write comments on students' papers, make sure that students understand the vocabulary or symbols you use. Take time to discuss them in class, and while you may think, I'm not sure, I understand your point here. The limited space may cause you to write simple, unclear, or just question mark. Students can see comments such as this as unkind and unhelpful. Feedback need to always be written in the margins. And the last one is clarify for yourself and for your students how their writing will be evaluated. Students often feel that the evaluation of their writing is completely subjective. You can ask a few questions to reward student writing. Some questions you may ask, such as, on a scale of 1 until 10, how important is creativity or originality of ideas? And the second is, how important is following a particular written format, such as a research report or book report or letter, and etc. And the next is, how important is grammatical accuracy, and such as how important is it that the assignment includes recently taught material. And answering this and other questions that are relevant to your situation will help you to develop a rubric, a kind of scoring grid that elaborates the elements of writing that are to be evaluated. Next slide. Okay, this is about three general types of rubric. The first one is non-weighted rubric. This type of rubric provides description or writing equality by level across other writing criteria. With this type of rubric, the teacher will circle or check the level the student had achieved in each of the three categories, and then provide some written comments on the bottom of the page or on the student assignment, like a content, that's excellent or not, and the organization, and the grammar, and you can give some comments in here. And the next is weighted rubric. A weighted rubric is similar to the unweighted one, but it breaks the writing skills into categories and subcategories. So the organization is 10 points, about has a clear introduction, has paragraph, has a conclusion, use transition to join paragraph, and use transition when needed within paragraphs. For each element listed, for example, the instructor might assign up to 2 points for the total of 10. And the last one is holistic rubric. A holistic rubric describes in general terms the qualities of excellent, good, fair, and unsatisfactory assignment. This description can be tied to grades or on their own. The instructor then chooses the description that fits the assignment. Students can help to form a rubric as well, take class time to ask them what they value in writing. Next. The next is about classroom technique and tasks. This is about the invention technique. The first one is brainstorming. Brainstorming can be done individually or in pairs or group of students. In a brainstorming session, students list all of the ideas they can think of related to a topic, and either in writing or aloud, quickly and without much planning. If no topic is given, then the student can brainstorm possible topic. And the second one is word mapping. Word mapping is a more visual form of brainstorming. When students create word maps, they begin with an idea at the top or center of a blank piece of a paper. And the third one is quick writing. Quick writing is where students begin with a topic but then write rapidly about it. And the next is about writing. That's drafting, feedback, and revising. Ample time should be given for the first draft, and students should be reminded that at this point, they need to focus on the development of ideas and the organization of those ideas more than the development of perfect grammar or punctuation or spelling. After the draft is handed in, the instructor can make a comments, but only in keeping with the instruction given to students. Make comments more on the ideas and organization than on the grammar and spelling. The last one is proofreading and editing. Before the final draft is turned in for evaluation, students should, of course, read for mistakes in spelling, grammar, punctuation, and so forth. Students can help each other to proofread and edit, although the instructor should keep involvement to a minimum. In developing independent writers, it is important that students learn to proofread and edit on their own as such as possible. Next. This is about example feedback from 4 students. After students have received feedback, they then begin the process of revising their papers. Next slide.
Okay, and next part is writing. So as we know, English is a second language, is very important. And as we know, English is very much learner for student in school, and writing ability is one of the most important skills. So to check and implementation the as for student in writing, here I have example from writing. Okay, so as we can see, an example is available. So here's a textbook example of Gladi. Here she makes a lifeline and she orchestrates some of her life. And she also wrote what the date. So here also asked to be able to write is based on the example. So students the essay and add the date like that, like that. And the picture too. Here here students must if we need another task student to check their skills in writing, we can use this task like students must choose the picture and made the what is it? Made the text or essay based on the picture. And next slide. So the conclusion from writing skills. Writing skill is something important for students, especially in learning English. Understanding the writing process and through various steps such as discovery, draft, review, revision, and evaluation that can help make writing less intimidating and full for students. And by sharing personal experiences as writers and writing, teachers can help students become proficient Englishers. So that's all. So that's all presentation for us. Thank you very much for your. See you.